Hello everybody from my hotel room in Gdansk in Poland, where this evening I am heading over to the ferry terminal to catch a ship which is going to take me all the way across the Baltic Sea to Nynäshamn in Sweden, a journey of around about 18 hours, and it's with Polferries on their ferry, the MF Wawel. Is it? I'll tell you what, I'm a little bit worried about this one. It must be one of the oldest ferries currently in operation in this part of the world, of its kind anyway. And launched in 1979. It's been in service since 1980. So what's that? It's getting on towards, well, it's 45 years, isn't it? It's had at least 7 or 8 name changes that I can recall, looking at the history of the vessel, and the current name is probably the hardest to pronounce of the lot. I'm sure I've got it wrong, but yeah, and I was doing a little bit of research last night and looking at the history there, and it's had manoeuvrability issues. It managed to get a hole in the starboard side of the hull at one point. Bow door problems, that's a worry, isn't it? And the machine room flooded as well. So yeah, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? There's only one way to find out, isn't there? Come with me for this journey. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting. I'm actually looking forward to it with a little bit of trepidation. But yeah, we'll head over to the ferry terminal in a little while. We'll get checked in and I will see you on board. Right, so, well, the taxi dropped me off at the right place. I'm pretty sure of that, because there's the ship. So how you get to the ship? Well, there's a passenger walkway over there, which I'm assuming is coming from here, the building that looks like it's all locked up at the moment. So anyway, it's we're about 2.5 hours ahead of departure, so yeah, a little bit early, but then it did say get here at least no less than 90 minutes before the ship's due to sail, which is 1800 hours. So yeah, I thought I'd be on the safe side, but it's just a question of, I'm going to head in that direction and see if the doors are open, really. So come with me, we'll have a look inside. It was about half an hour in the taxi from the centre of Gdansk. There was a bus stop nearby, but for the £8 or so it cost me, it's not really worth the hassle of trying to get the bus. Now, that's not a real pirate ship, by the way. There seem to be a few dotted about the city, and they were used for sightseeing and evening cruises and the like. Anyway, the entrance was just here, and despite its exterior appearance, the building was open and the heating was on. Right, well, that was nice and easy. Came into the ferry terminal, a couple of cash desks there. There's a sign on the door saying check in from 16:30 and board the ship, but you need your boarding card first, so I got my boarding card, I have to show my ID and ticket, and yeah, just a question of waiting now for a bit, and then we shall be up the stairs and onto the ship. I will see you on board. I had a bit of a wander around the ferry terminal while I waited. You can get some great views of the ferry from here, and there goes Captain Jack off to do battle in the Baltic Sea, no doubt. I bet it's really pleasant in the summer watching the shipping going up and down this very busy stretch of waterway. But it was mid-November at the time of this recording, and the light was fading quickly, and it was getting really cold. Back in the terminal building, the downstairs waiting area, and it has a coffee vending machine here, some toilets, and some information about the Polferries fleet. Well, that's about it, really. We were called for boarding at around 5 p.m, 12-foot passengers making this trip tonight, so we headed up the stairs where tickets were checked, and then we were straight onto the walkway you saw earlier that connects the terminal building with the ship. Nice and easy this, and as you can see it was properly dark at this point, but I eventually reached the ship where all passengers were greeted by a welcome on board sign, and then left to figure out how to find the stairs. There was some guy sitting in an office down here, but he didn't seem interested in, well, anything much really. Anyway, the stairs brought us out on deck 6, which is where I guess the central area of the ship is, including the reception area. We'll have a look at this a little bit later on, but for now, I needed to head up to deck 7, where my cabin number 7019 was located. And it didn't take long to find, down a few stairs oddly, but the first one you came to on the starboard side of the ship. Right then, guys, I'm in my cabin, which is for tonight's crossing 7019, just opposite the disco. What can I say? Let's have a little look. We have got some coat hangers over there. A mirror, a big mirror, isn't it? Really, and some European style plug sockets there, and a bin, and the chair. I've seen better days. Chairs get that scuffed anyway, and it's a 2-berth outside cabin, and we are now. Which way are we facing? It's on the starboard side. We're facing that way. So actually we have got 2 windows, which is good, isn't it? Each window is above each of the beds. So there's no bunk beds in this particular cabin. There's some like randomly either side. But I guess looking at this, and depends on which one I choose to sleep on. Oh, it's a spoil for choice. You could actually put one of the beds up, and actually this might be a better side to sleep on, because there's a table. I wasn't sure. I thought it was fixed to the well. It is fixed to the wall. It's got like a thing on it as well. A table leg. That's the word. That works, and that's fine. Don't look too bad at all, really. Now then, I haven't actually looked inside the bathroom yet, so let's take a look and see anything we can do, isn't it? Right, okay. All the light works, and we have a toilet, which is good. Right, it all looks clean enough, doesn't it? Nice big mirror there, some plastic cups, and a soap dispenser, and a typical Ferry shower. Actually, okay, it's a little bit old, isn't it? I'm just slightly distracted, and I wasn't sure if I've got towels on. I think I have. Yeah, the other on the beds. It's a little bit dated, I think, but it's clean. And the carpet, I mean, if you look at it, there's not a lot wrong with the carpet, is there? There's no stains on it, nothing like that. It is actually, it's clean, it's green. What more is there to say? And beige. It's gonna. That looks like I just noticed thermostat heater control thing. And obviously you have got this, I thought that said warm tech heater there, so I think it's going to be fine actually. And basically what you want is a decent night's sleep, isn't it? So yeah, fingers crossed I can get that. Beforehand we've got to have some dinner, we've got to explore some of the ship. Plan is that because it's dark tonight, we will look at the interior, and then in the morning we'll be shooting some outside deck space. Right, join me outside in a bit. I went up to the stern of Deck 8 to watch the vehicle ramp being lifted. Behind us, another pirate ship was spotted leaving port, and once the ramp was fully retracted, the lines were taken in and we were off, leaving Gdansk behind. I really enjoyed my stay in Gdansk, by the way. It's a really lovely city with some fantastic buildings and a really interesting history, much of which is connected to the sea. I'll definitely recommend a visit, maybe when it's a bit warmer, to be honest, but yeah, in my opinion, it's a bit of a hidden gem. I headed back inside to dump my big coat in the cabin, and then I made my way towards the front of the ship and down to deck 6, where you have the choice of an a la carte restaurant with table service on the starboard side, or the self-service restaurant, which Polferries called the cafeteria. Right guys, so from what I can ascertain, it's like pork, most of the meat is pork. I've just gone for some chips, and it looks absolutely fine, and the portion size is great as well. Can of Coke, and that has cost me 62 zloty, which is working out at 13 British pounds. So now I'm going to tuck in, and I will give you my verdict when I finish. Now, looking around, I think most people who I would imagine were Polish had some kind of soup and some boiled cabbage or something with their meals. Mine looked a bit basic in comparison, but I think if I'd have known what to ask for, I could have had that as well for the same price. The cafeteria takes up most of the space at the front of the ship here, and you may notice that there is an upstairs section up the curved stairs, which according to the deck plan is a group and driver's restaurant. But the stairs were roped off, so I wasn't able to explore any further, unfortunately. There is another entrance via a small lounge area accessed from deck 7 itself, but despite what it said on the sign, the door was shut, and on it was another notice inviting commercial drivers to eat their food downstairs with everyone else. Alright guys, so yeah, empty plate, what more can you say? That was absolutely fine, and just what I needed actually after a long day looking around Gdansk. And yeah, I should have added, I'm in the self-service restaurant as opposed to the proper restaurant, which I think is like a designated area as you come in. I'm not sure how many are in there, but yeah, there's obviously they've got like a proper menu as you come in as well. But yeah, this is absolutely fine for me tonight. Like I said before, 13 British pounds, you can't really go wrong for that. I'm certainly full anyway, so yeah, time to explore a little bit more of the ship. Come on. There were plenty of deck plans dotted about the ship, and it didn't take me too long to get my bearings once I'd studied one or two of these. Staying on deck 6 then, we returned to the reception area, manned by proper staff at all times. I didn't have cause to use it on this trip, but it seemed like an organised area, and there were plenty of leaflets available like ship info, Wi-Fi info and city guides. There is also a currency exchange counter here, but that was closed during this crossing. Opposite the reception desk is the shop, where you will go up the staircase for unlimited luxury, according to the sign. It was certainly large enough for the size of the ship, with the usual selection of alcohol here. Note the security guard, by the way. A really good selection of Polferries souvenirs. I bought a postcard of the ship, perfumes and a few items of clothing. Yep, everything you'd expect really from a shop on board a ferry. A number of cabins are located on deck 6, and to access the coffee bar at the stern you have to walk down one of these long passageways either side. The starboard corridor is where the luggage storage area is, which was closed once we'd left port. Once inside the bar, there are a number of slot machines here if that's what you want to do, and right at the back a couple of reserved lounges called airplane chairs on the ship's deck plan. There was a sign saying that these were chargeable seats, but I'm not sure that was being enforced, to be honest. A darkened area, it was being used by one or two passengers to sleep in tonight, and if you're able to do that, well, it's the cheapest way to do the crossing, isn't it? There is access to a small section of outside deck space at the stern here, but it was far too cold to be opening the doors tonight. I ordered a drink from the bar, and I found an empty table, of which there were many, to just sit and relax and enjoy it. Right guys, so I have finally made it to the bar, which is actually called the coffee bar, I think, on this vessel, the MF Wawel. And yeah, it's fine. There are not many people on this ship. I reckon that there might be 50 at the most, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, it is really quiet, and they've got a big screen up showing some basketball match, one or two other screens, lots of slot machines kicking about, and I've got a pint of Varka, that's the one, yeah. £3.50 for this, so I'm going to enjoy one or two of these. It'd be nice if there's some black balsam tonight, wouldn't it? I haven't seen any yet, but maybe it's not a Polish thing. But yeah, and then I reckon it will be time to head up to the disco, so join me for that in a bit, and or maybe not, and yeah, we'll see you in a little while. Yeah, I've got to admit, I was a bit bored in there, even by my standards, so I decided to go to the disco a little bit early. And you could tell you're heading the right way, because the light fitted in the corridor has got one of those spinning bulbs you used to be able to buy off Amazon for about £5. But on the way I called by the arcade, which has a number of video games, air hockey, etc. And it used to be the conference room stroke cinema, but sadly no more. So up the stairs then onto deck 8, and if you've ever wondered what the dome is on this ship, then wonder no more, because behold and gaze in wonder as I present to you the disco. Well, I had to switch my camera off at this point as the security guard had relocated himself from the shop up to the DJ booth. He was the only one up here, but there was a bar, and he did say I could get a drink if I wanted one, so he was obviously multitasking. I declined and I left him to it, returning to the bar for a bit, but at this point, it really didn't feel like there was much more to see or do. I went back outside for a late night stroll, then decided to turn in for the night, and before I knew it, I was back on deck once more. Still pretty cold, but some stunning skies all around. Morning everybody from the Baltic Sea. We've got about 4 hours to run until we get to Nynäshamn in Sweden, and there's no sign of land at the moment, but the weather's not too bad really. And I look around and there's blue skies, there's some interesting cloud formations, some rain clouds right over there I can see. Fortunately nothing above us at the moment, and the sun's been up well about an hour or so, something like that, and the sea state is really calm, so not a bad crossing at all really. Last night I had a reasonable amount of sleep, woke up a few times, but that's to be expected for me on a ferry. So the plan is just going to head inside now and have some breakfast because I'm feeling quite hungry. We'll see what that has got to offer, and then we're going to come back out again and take a few more shots of the outside deck space and hopefully some scenery as we reach land a little bit later on in the morning. Right, come with me, let's go and have something to eat. So I was back down the corridor again, heading for the cafeteria. I love these signs telling you where everything was. I don't know what type font they used, but it all looks so retro. It was like stepping back in time really. Now, breakfast was a choice between the all-you-can-eat buffet in the a la carte restaurant area. That would cost you 62 zloty, or you could choose what you want from the individually priced items in the cafeteria. Well, I don't eat a lot for breakfast, so I thought on this occasion the value was probably in the latter. Right guys, in the self-service restaurant, the cafeteria as it is known, and breakfast consists of a massive sausage, an egg on a bit of bread with some bacon and a coffee. I reckon it was just under £8, 8 British pounds for that. It looks nice, so I'm going to dig in. I'll tell you what, the views are pretty good, look at this. Right across, there is nobody else in here. So, I think quite a few people have gone for the buffet style breakfast in the restaurant, the proper restaurant area. But this will do for me, so I'm going to dig in and I will let you know what I think when I've finished. Kielbasa sausage it was, and very nice too. I sat there enjoying my food, listening to Bill Medley and Jennifer Warnes with I Had the Time of My Life on Polish MTV. Quite appropriate really, I thought, and once again there was an empty plate at the end. There's a small children's play area in this corner, by the way, probably not up to the standard of some ships to be fair, but at least it was something, and I saw someone using it the night before. Alright then guys, it has gone 10:30 in the AM, and we're not too far away now. You can just about see the coastline of Sweden just on our port side there, and what I'm going to do is just show you and tell you a little bit about the outside deck space. And where I'm standing now on the port side, it's a little bit limited to be honest, because you have the usual every passenger's explorative nightmare, the no entry sign on the gate. Otherwise it looks quite interesting over there, doesn't it? Lots of side deck space there, but unfortunately it's not open for us today. Moving around here, now this, if you've ever wondered what the dome is on the top of this vessel, it's basically the roof of the disco that you will have seen last night. And so, small amounts of outside deck space on this level, which is deck 8. And then just down here, you've got vast amounts of deck space, the sun deck as it is known. And so, I guess in the summer when it's busy then there's a load of people out here, isn't there? There's plenty of this kind of table bench style seating outside. And there's also the grill bar, but unfortunately and unsurprisingly that is not open on this crossing, so that's probably a seasonal thing, isn't it? Overall, ample deck space, although it's confined to this deck here, and there's not much side space, but it's perfectly fine for this crossing. So I am really looking forward to getting towards Sweden now and taking some shots of the scenery as we pass, so enjoy them with me. I'll see you when we arrive. I often forget to say this, guys, but if you're enjoying this video, please leave me a like, a hype, or even consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. I don't just do ferry videos, there are a mix of travel experiences on the channel, some good, some bad, but I hope you find them entertaining either way. It's all made possible by people watching my content and raising the profile of the channel, so thank you so much for your support. A quick word on the Wi-Fi, which was a bit of a strange one in my opinion. After signing in, you were presented with various options ranging from 1 hour to 18 hours and priced from €3 to €10 respectively. But you also get 5 hours for free when the ship is in port, which was a bit weird. I had a perfectly good 5G signal in port, so what was the point in that? Well, I gave it a go and it connected fine. YouTube played well and other social media sites also loaded fine. But half an hour into the voyage, it had disconnected itself. I was back on the networks. Anyway, I gave up at that point. €10 though wasn't a terrible price for the whole crossing. Otherwise, don't forget to put your phone into flight mode when at sea and bring a book, I would say. We were not far from land now, and as we approached Nynäshamn, one of the destination Gotland ferries, the MS Visby, crossed our bows on the way to, you've guessed it, Visby on Gotland, which is incidentally Sweden's largest island. This looked a rather neat ferry actually, and if you've ever tried it, let me know in the comments below. And if you've ever sailed with Polferries or been on this ship, I'd love to hear from you as well. As you may have read, it has a fascinating history, and I would imagine some of you will have some fond memories of it as the Stena Fantasia. Did you ever go to the disco? Has the ship changed much since the days of the Dover-Calais route? This is the first Polish ferry I've ever been on, and I found it fine really, a bit utilitarian I suppose in some places, but the crew were okay I guess, and just went about their business without being over friendly or chatty. Could have done with a bit of a presence upon boarding really, that would have been helpful. And I thought food and drink prices were pretty low compared to similar ferries I've taken around Europe, but that's from a UK perspective. Polish travellers may feel differently. How much is a pint of vodka in Gdansk, for example? And talking about prices, well, total price I paid for this one-way trip with an outside two-berth cabin was 528 zloty, which converted into £107.94 at the time of booking. A reasonable price, I thought, for the length of crossing and the cabin. After arriving into port, there was a short wait in the reception area, and then it was back down the orange stairs to the exit on deck 4. here's the Polferries representative thanking us all for travelling and wishing us well for our onward journeys. Not. And then it was back outside and onto the gangway, which took us down to street level and into the terminal building, where the benefits of freedom of movement, in this part of Europe anyway, meant there were no passport checks, and I was quickly out and into the town, where I walked down to the pretty harbour and just took a couple of minutes to summarise the journey. Right guys, Nynäshamn in Sweden, and just got here on Polferries MF Wawel, all the way from Gdansk in Poland, an 18-hour overnight journey. And I must admit, I was a little bit worried about this ship. And it was like stepping back into time, wasn't it? Just like the cabin. Well, the whole ship really was like ultra retro, a real kind of late 70s, 80s vibe to it. But having said that, everything worked and most of the stuff was open. One or two things were closed. You would expect that in the closed season. There wasn't that many people on there, but yeah, the staff were okay, the food was decent enough, and the price was fairly reasonable, I thought. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. Would you take this trip after watching this, or have you taken this trip in the past? I'd be really interested to hear your comments. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you can join me on another adventure soon. I'm off to catch a train now into Stockholm. So I'll see you then, and until the next time, guys, as always, cheers for now.